Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Thursday, 8th May 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Immediate former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Stuart holds press conference on energy. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Trinidad's former Energy Minister Stuart has warned the new Kamla Persad-Bissessar administration against counting out the Dragon gas deal and rushing into arrangements with other Caribbean countries. CNC3's K. Marie Fletcher reports.
While he's no longer this country's energy minister, Stuart is expressing concern about the country's breadline following comments made by Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar on the possibility of future gas deals now that she believes Dragon is dead. But according to Young, the Dragon has decades left to dance.
Understand that when you immediately say Dragon is dead, what are you telling Shell? I am certain in the boardrooms today, in The Hague, in London, in Houston, there is deep analysis going on. Everything you say as a leader of the country is not for domestic politics alone. It is very irresponsible for any government governing Trinidad and Tobago, wanting what is best for Trinidad and Tobago, without even looking at the documentation that exists, to immediately declare it dead. The truth is, we have a 30-year license with Venezuela.
His concern comes as Persad-Bissessar revealed she has interest in working with CARICOM states.
I intend to send my Minister of Energy to Grenada because I'm being told that Grenada offshore has more gas and oil than the Dragon field. So shall we explore that?
However, Young says it's presumptuous to get the country excited over reserves that may not even yield fruit.
Every possibility with our CARICOM neighbors was already being explored. And this holdout of some field called Nutmeg in Grenada, I pray to God there are reserves there and maybe exploration wells will find it in years to come. But it is nowhere close to market. So I am simply cautioning and saying to Trinidad and Tobago at this stage, this is very, very far off from being feasible.
Instead, his advice to the new administration would be to continue to persuade international gas companies to work with this country. He said failure to do so would run us into problems. Meanwhile, the Energy Chamber acknowledged that gas was discovered between Grenada and Trinidad in 2017. However, it admitted that there's been little information since. The Chamber says if the fields can be economically developed, it will be an excellent opportunity to export gas into TNT's gas network through existing infrastructure. CNC3 News reached out to newly minted Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Mudilal for comment, but messages and calls went unanswered. CNC3 News also reached out to Grenada's Prime Minister and Energy Minister, but those calls were also unsuccessful. K. Marie Fletcher, CNC3 News.
This daughter of the soil knows what it is to be sidelined, silenced, and sometimes rejected. Through every challenge, I have stayed the course with resilience.
This was the assurance given by newly appointed leader of the opposition, Penelope Beckles-Robinson, during her speech following the official handover of instruments by President Christine Kangaloo. Mrs. Beckles-Robinson also assured that she is committed to collaborating with the government bench. Ayana Carter of TTT News reports.
The newly appointed leader of the opposition, Penelope Beckles-Robinson, said she will lead her team with a people-first outlook, giving her commitment to ensuring that Trinidad and Tobago as a nation progresses.
Judge me not for the decibel of my voice, but by the depth of my commitment and the strength of my conviction to lift every citizen higher.
She noted that though on the opposition bench, her team will ensure that the ruling party is kept in check.
Let me be clear, it is not my conviction that opposition means obstruction. True leadership is not necessarily loud, aggressive, or denigrating. It is steady, thoughtful, and courageous. Our democracy flourishes not through divisiveness, but through robust debate, shared purpose, and mutual respect.
Speaking directly to young people, farmers, the vulnerable in society, and other sections of society, the opposition leader said, guided by firm resolve, compassion, wisdom, and experience, her team will stand firm in its conviction of fairness and advocacy.
I dare say that under my leadership, the People's National Movement Bench will adopt a standard higher than was previously existed. We'll not only hold the government to account, we will also support forward-thinking, future-focused, visionary legislation and policies that uplift our people and the position of Trinidad and Tobago for long-term success.
Mrs. Beckles-Robinson also congratulated Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar and her team for their success at the polls on April 28th. Ayana Carter, TTT News.
After Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar's victory at the polls last Monday, Chinese Premier Li Qiang has sent his well wishes and reaffirmed China's commitment to continue working with Trinidad and Tobago. This TTT News item with Daniel John has some details.
According to China Global Television Network, CGTN, in a message to Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Chinese Premier Li Qiang said that Trinidad and Tobago is an important partner of China, adding that since the establishment of diplomatic ties 51 years ago, the two countries have enjoyed a sound and steady development of bilateral relations. Mr. Li also spoke highly of Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar's role as a key participant in the promotion of the development of China-Trinidad and Tobago ties. He said that China places great importance on the development of bilateral relations, adding that he is ready to work with Persad-Bissessar to seize the opportunity presented by high-quality belt and road cooperation to elevate the comprehensive cooperation partnership between China and Trinidad and Tobago to new heights and bring more benefits to the two peoples. Daniel John, TTT News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
In other news, leader of the opposition in the Bahamas, Michael Pintard, predicts there will be an early general election, September or earlier this year.
Well, even as the governing Progressive Liberal Party continues to deny it is in campaign mode in anticipation of the next general election, opposition leader Michael Pintard believes the administration's actions tell a completely different story. He contends the government is using a smoke and mirrors technique to convince Bahamians it deserves a second term through highly touted, well-publicized ribbon cuttings and groundbreaking exercises for projects it knows full well will not be completed before the election.
We believe that this is to set up the narrative to convince the Bahamian people that they are extremely busy, and that even though these projects will not be completed by the time of the election, they wish to sell the Bahamian people this dream that, listen, we are in the process of doing many things on your behalf, therefore we deserve another shot.
And not only does the F&M leader believe there will be an early election, he also thinks he has narrowed down specifically when that election will happen.
Much of what they're saying and a lot of what we see them doing is making is making a case for election, and we believe that election is likely to be this year, September or earlier. And the direction that the government is presently taking really makes the case that we really need a fixed date for election, so that no man or woman is able to wake up one morning and determine that they're going to call the election on a day of their choosing that's convenient for whatever political games they may be playing.
Preparations are being fine-tuned for Antigua and Barbuda's historic hosting of the General Assembly of the Organization of American States, OAS, from June 25th to June 27th, 2025. Over 2,000 delegates from the hemispheric grouping will arrive in Antigua and Barbuda for the event, set for the Conference Center of the American University of Antigua, AUA. The Twin Island States Permanent Representative to the OAS, Sir Ronald Sanders, expects delegates will begin to arrive as early as the 18th of June. Sir Ronald expects a tourism boost for the Twin Island state from this major event.
I think it's a proven fact that whenever assemblies like this are held and so many people come into the country, for every dollar you spend on organizing this meeting, you earn $3 to $4 in return. Because people will be spending money in restaurants, they'll be spending money from hotels, they'll be spending money in bars, they'll be buying things they want to take back to their homes as mementos, and they will be spending money just on having a good time. That's just outside of the conference activity. So all of that is going to bring an immediate economic bump to the economy. But more than that, because there are so many television stations from around the Americas and indeed other parts of the world that will be covering this conference, they will be projecting images of Antigua and Barbuda to countries that where people have never dreamt of coming to an island like ours.
Guyana's opposition leader Aubrey Norton calls for Commander Mandal to be charged for inciting public mischief. HGP's Antonio D. reports.
And so if we are to deal with all in a fair way, then Mandal should be charged.
That was opposition leader Aubrey Norton. The Ghana Police Force on April 26, 2025 said former Region 3 Police Commander Khalid Mandal was sent on leave to facilitate an investigation into the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young. The announcement from the Office of the Police Commissioner came as the police come under mounting pressure over the handling of the death, which has triggered protests and an outpouring of grief. Following the disappearance of the preteen, according to sources, Mandal was the one who disseminated information, which stated that Adriana Young left the hotel in a red and black ROM. Due to the false nature of that information, it was later retracted, and this misinformation was attributed to the former Region 3 commander. In this context, the opposition leader said Mandal must be charged for creating, quote-unquote, public mischief.
The Ghana Police Force must be fair, stop being political, and ensure that they issue a wanted bulletin for Khalid Mandal and subsequently charge him for creating public mischief and attempting to pervert and obstruct the course of justice.
He posited that what goes for one must go for all.
I hold no brief for Tiana Lois King, but what I do know is that if she is to be charged, then Mandal should be charged because it is the similar act that both of them would have committed.
I'm Antonio D. reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Still on the police's blotter, the police are preparing a file to be sent for legal advice. Now that a nursing assistant who was wanted by them for public mischief and obstruction of justice is in their custody.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, It's so clear to see peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family, yes we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.